Today's video on GL Rustic Design is going to be a pantry that I custom made for a customer to slide in a hole, and I had a few extra options with it. So I started with the back and the two sides. So the initial goal was to obviously make a big rectangle for the sides, and then you do all the insides and then so on. So I used pocket holes to line up. So this was the back is on the top and then the side is on the bottom. Use a little bit of Top Bond glue, run it down the side of the inside, and then use pocket holes to attach the back to the side. Flip it over, do the same thing to the other side. You could obviously you could screw this from the outside of the side into the back, or vice versa. It's just really however you want to do it. This one in particular, I knew was sliding into a hole, and so I knew I could hide things and the sides didn't have to be painted and so on. And so once I got that step done, I moved over to the face. So this customer, she had kind of drawn it up of how she wanted it to look, and then I just kind of replicated it, went from there, made my measurements from my CNC machine, cut most of this out with my CNC machine, and then went from there. So when I done the face, it was just 1.5 pieces of wood. Again, I knew that it did not have to have anything on the side because it was going in the hole. So I knew that I could get away with that. So there was 1.5 inches. So you would have a 3/4 piece for the side, and then you have another 3/4 piece on the inside, making this the total of the 1.5 inches. So I just run it the length of the pantry and then divide it not evenly by 3. She had some certain measurements. I was trying to put some baking pans in the top, as you'll see later in the video of how I done that. And then the bottom was 2 drawers, and then the middle was just a cabinet with an adjustable shelf. And so while I have a second, I hit my goals of 1,000 subscribers. It seems so small, but this thing is growing and growing. So if you're watching this video, if you like my channel, please hit the subscribe button below. Like the video, leave me a comment of something you might want to see. Do you like seeing the how much it costs to build things video? Do you like seeing the review types of videos? Or do you just like to see me build random things types of videos? Drop a comment below. Moving back into the video. So I had took the face, put it to the side because I knew it had to be painted. So the inside of this was not going to be painted. And so I took the face, put it, I have just a whole nother section of my shop, so I could paint it, and then I put in the bottom piece. Like I said, I knew this bottom was going to have drawers in it, so it didn't really have to have a full bottom under it, and there was a vent under where this was going to sit, so I had to think about a few things. Also, I had to cut out a light switch hole you see right there to the left, and then you also see my kid. Always in my videos, he loves being out there with me. But so as you can see, the very top of that, you see all those slats that I cut in there. So she wanted, as I'd mentioned, she wanted to have baking sheets at the top, and so I had made all these slats even, so you have the top and the bottom, and so that you could take those out if you need to, add more baking sheets or so on. And this also had legs on the bottom. And as I'd mentioned, I painted the face of this off to the side so that I would come back, put these pocket holes in there, put some glue around it. I probably should if I could go back and do this again, I'd put pocket holes all around the outside. But I'd already got to the point that I couldn't do that anymore. And so I just shot some brad nails through the front of it, put some wood putty in it, painted over it, ended up being fine. So, and I actually had to come back from this step here and add a divider rail down the middle of the top and the middle section. As you can see right there and above my video, I'd done that off camera. And then so this was me putting the legs on. I just used some 2x4 scraps I had laying around. She wanted a little bit of an angle cut on the front legs, and so I done that for the front legs. The backs, they were just square. Took 2x4s, glued them, screwed them together, cut off, might have been like a 10-degree angle, something along there. Cut those off, put glue all on the top of the leg, because I know this is going to be one of the most vulnerable spots of this thing tipping over or whatever. All the weight is on these legs, so I absolutely wanted to make sure that these legs did not come off. And then I used some 2-inch screws, used 2 of those with the top bond glue, stuck that bad boy on there, and it ended up looking really good in the end product. Could have done this before I put the face and then or painted everything together, but this was the first time I'd ever built this pantry, so it was, you always get a learning curve for the first time you build something. Once that step was complete, I came back and I started working on the drawer boxes. As if you've watched any of my other previous videos, I built all my drawer boxes about the same. It still works for me to this day. I'm not going to change it. So I just use 1/2-inch birch plywood that I buy in bulk and top bond glue, some brad nails. So pretty much how I do this is I'll take a full 4x8 sheet of birch and I'll cut it into 3 sections. So I just run it through my table saw or my CNC, whichever one is easier at the time. But I'll cut it into 3 even sections, so it's usually like 15 3/4 or whatever. And so I'll lean those up against the wall. Anytime I need drawer boxes, I can just cut them as I need it. And so that I have zero, pretty much the waste is non-existent in the end, because I use 16-inch drawer slides. My boxes are 16 inches deep, or about 15 3/4, whatever. So I virtually have no waste coming out of that. So it's worked good for me. Buy everything in bulk and it saves. But as you can see, I just used glue, brad nails there, put the little slides on. Draw your straight line. You could go off a number. I put those little blocks that I'm mounting those drawer slides onto as well. You can draw your line. I use pretty much a ruler, lay it flat against that, draw a line on top, put that down, and then go back, draw the same line on the outside of the drawer box, and then put the slide on. And then so once I slide both the drawers in, drill the holes for the handles, put the handles on, yada yada. And then I had to pull all that out once I got everything lined up. And then I was coming back and I put all the shelves in. And as you can see, I just used pocket holes. None of the shelves are painted or stained on the inside. So this is just the bottom of the middle compartment. Just had pocket holes, a little bit of glue, so on. The middle shelf was just an adjustable shelf and whatnot. So, that's pretty much it with the video. Like I've mentioned, please hit the subscribe button below. Appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, please let me know about anything from what kind of paint I use to paint sprayer to my CNC machine. I'm gladly pretty quick about answering questions. But thank you for watching.